an open letter to my anger. My dear, they do not exist, the people who have no voice. There are only those who are silenced or deliberately overheard. To experience that you and that which has caused you does not count is perhaps the epitome of powerlessness in general. They have separated my body from my voice, eyes, and ears, paralyzed my senses, the nervous system cut off. Lots of dicks on my head, not one between my legs. In return, my death ensured their continued erection. How pathetic! I refuse to strengthen this narration by repeating it, to confer upon it an irremovability the equivalent of destiny, to confuse the biological and the cultural. I will not consider you as something separate from me. You belong to me, because through you I have found something important again. There have been times where you were frantic, sharp like splinters, shattering out in every direction, but lately you are deep and wide and steady, not as immediately visible under the surface, but just as present. Lately, you are a place inside myself that I breathe into to make myself larger, taking up space and making space for others. You have given me clarity and a goal. You are memory and revolt. That I will continue, that much is certain. I do not see an age appearing in the distance that would have solved the conditions that make me exist. I travel not only from one era to another, but also from one country, one culture, one language to another. It can happen that one does not recognize me right away. Already, when I started to exist, I was androgynous, the queen of queers. I have always been masculine and feminine, and I have always been more than one. I will meet my Medusans again and again to insist. I wish to hear how my Medusans explode. They, who do not know about their powers, should burn constantly. You are a feminine virtue. A partial list of things people have called me when I let myself be angry, irrational, unstable, toxic, scary, in need of help, in need of therapy, in need of a mental hospital, in need of medication, a lunatic, idiotic, paranoid, psychotic, hysterical, nuts, deranged, schizophrenic, demented, crazy, insane, a psycho, a broken dog, a bitch, a cunt. As a girl, I learned to fear my anger. My anger became so many iterations of, "What is wrong with you?" that the only solution for me was to push it down deep into that burning hole and let it come out in any other way. I couldn't let that door open because if I did, the heat below my skin would burn me into nothing. I'd collect its heat in fiery balls that I'd swallow whole and lock away. My anger was something moving sideways, something that was redirected in any other way but anger. I've learned to walk through my anger. It hasn't killed me. It isn't madness. It is energy that I keep feeling and which is no longer moving sideways. but straight ahead. Most emotion concepts that people use in their everyday lives are metaphorically structured and understood. Therefore, the study of metaphor becomes significant for adequate understanding of emotional reality. A lot of metaphors describing anger view the body and the body parts as containers, and the emotions as fluids held in those containers. Hippocrates assumed that the body contained 4 liquids, with yellow bile being responsible for anger. There is a correlation between the intensity of emotion and the amount of the fluid kept in the container. When the intensity of emotion increases, the level of the fluid in the container rises. Emotions become measurable. When there is too much fluid in the container, and the internal pressure is too high, the fluid overflows the container, or the container explodes. Emotions seem to be understood as dangerous and, as such, subject to control. A fluid always takes the shape of its container. It becomes the container. Some are curved, with bellies that vaguely resemble the spiky fur of a porcupine, like an exploded phosphorus bomb. Some are round and flat, resembling a soft bed of moss, and others appear like an ordinary, cheap teapot that was ordered online. If one of the containers overflows, the fluid flows from slow to explosive over the edge. The upward shooting drops hit the vocal cords and irritate them to the extreme. The human voice thus becomes an audible manometer that reflects the far exceeded measurement level of the fluid inside the body.